Well, hello viewers. This is the part 2 of my new SIG MPX. I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of a review on it for you. I did the unboxing video the other day. Since then I've had an opportunity to break the gun out of the box and get it set up and put a few rounds through it, and I wanted to share some of my first impressions with you. We'll do some more updates on the gun as I am able to put some rounds through it. So very first thing we're going to do is go ahead and safety check the gun. Kind of neat, there is a dust cover on there. Lock the bolt back. Magazine is empty. Chamber is empty. Gun is clear. So let's talk a little bit about the gun and some of my first impressions about it. And I'm both very pleased, and I've got some concerns about the gun that I think will be okay, but as of right now I'm still sort of, the jury's still a little bit out. So let's go ahead and get started with it. First things first, I did add, let's go ahead and go over the gun, I guess basically from muzzle to buttstock, but a couple of things. I moved this hand stop forward a little bit. It is also a forward sling swivel. You can put an HK style sling attachment on there, and that's what how I'm going to be using it. I added a Magpul AFG, and it is mounted on a Magpul rail. The gun does come with 3 rail sections, but they are smaller sections, and I wanted one that was a little bit bigger, so I'm kind of glad I got that. It fills your hand up very well, and I just figured it would also isolate my hand a little bit from the heat of the barrel and that type of thing. So so far pretty good. So some of the other things on the gun, it does have really nice flip-up sights. Although they do not lock open, they're a little bit cheaper than some of the others that I've seen, and some of the others that I've gotten on my other SIGs. The other SIGs that I have a lock button that locks them up or down, and also on these you run this screw out of there, and then it just slides off the rail, whereas the other ones are actually a 2-piece with where you torque it down. So don't know if they went cheap on me or not, but I mean, overall so far so good. The one thing I guess is you're not dealing with the recoil impulses of let's say a 5.56 rifle or something like that, so I think it'll work out okay. AR birdcage on the barrel. So far I have not mounted my suppressor to it. I'm going to be. I just have to go get a new plunger for it. Some of the interesting things, and I'll give you kind of an interesting view. The barrel is full floating. As you can see, there's nothing touching the barrel all the way down the handguards, and it is very simple to take apart. When you remove the front takedown pin, this whole assembly simply slides off the front, and you have access to the barrel and all of that good stuff. So it is pretty ingenious as far as the way it's designed. Controls here. Let's go over the controls real quick. If you've ever fired an AR-15, you will be very pleased. Magazine release, it is ambidextrous. Selector lever, it is ambidextrous. The bolt hold open is only from the left side of the gun, so righties only. However, the bolt release is available both on this side and the other side. Controls on the other side are a little bit different. Mag release button there. This is the bolt release, and of course the selector lever. Pretty cool. So a couple other things. Magazine well on the gun. Try and give you guys a good view of it. Pretty nice. Magazine goes in and out with authority. One thing I noticed is that the mag release on this side of the gun is a little gritty. I'm guessing that's probably going to wear in over time. The one on the other side, not so much. Little dust cover there for the action, which is very nice. If you are just storing the gun or whatever, keep the dirt and grit out of there. I have decided to go with a EOTech on the as far as the optics are concerned. That may change over time, but I wanted to start with the EOTech because it's one of my favorites. Give you guys, see if I can get you, don't bump the camera too much, see if I can get you a view of, there we go. And it does co-witness beautifully with the iron sights. It's what they call a zero co-witness. So when you're looking down the sights, there we go. Co-witnesses beautifully. It does have two apertures on the rear sight. There's a large aperture and a small aperture. Very AR-esque. And again, there is no locking mechanism. They just kind of flip and fold. So very cool. Charging handle is a little gritty. I'll wear that in, I'm sure, but I was a little disappointed. You can feel some grit in there. My biggest complaint is the trigger. I have heard from other people that this is a mil-spec trigger. Should be under about right around a 9-pound pull. I'm guessing that the pull is right about 9 pounds. I think the biggest problem with it is this is the grittiest trigger I have ever felt in my life. It feels like there is sand in the action. Let me shut the bolt. See if you can see that, but see if you can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I mean it is gritty, and I'm not impressed. The good news is it is an AR trigger, so I believe I'm going to be upgrading this trigger to something a little more deserving. Did swap out the grip with a Magpul. This is their new slimline grip, and it has the texturing on there, kind of like a Glock RTF. Pretty nice, actually. I'm pretty impressed with it. I will caution you one thing when you are swapping out the grip on this thing. There are actually two springs. You know, the AR's got the spring for the takedown pin. There's two springs on this one. One is for the selector lever. The other one is for the takedown pin, and it's kind of a bear to get them in there. So just be aware of that. Got your single point sling swivel there. Again, very nice. And of course the pistol brace and buffer tube, folding buffer tube. I am now a little more comfortable with the buffer tube. It just takes a little bit of manhandling to get it to collapse, but the gun does really collapse into a nice compact pistol package. If you want to use that as in a go bag or something like that, very, very nice. And it will obviously fire with the pistol brace folded. And then once you break it out, it is real simple to get it to lock out. And so couple few first impressions. The gun has extremely low recoil. I'm very impressed with that. The overall fit and finish of the gun is very, very nice. SIG is now using this coating on all their guns. It's sort of it has a texture to it. It feels kind of, for lack of a better word, it has sort of a rough, almost a powdery finish to it. And I think that is a contributing factor to some of the grittiness that is in some of the parts. The gun was also extremely heavily oiled. When I opened it up the first time, I was shocked at how much oil was inside, or how much lubricant was inside the gun. I mean, it was absolutely soaked in oil. And so I just made sure that everything was clear when I took it out and fired it for the first time. I didn't know whether or not that oil was part of its break-in process or what. So I've I've only put about 100 rounds through the gun so far. But I put 100 rounds through it, broke it down, and got it all cleaned out, and so now it's nice and dry pretty much on the inside. So far so good. And now I'm going to begin to run it, and I'll give you guys sort of some update videos on how it's performing. So far it's performed flawlessly. It shoots absolutely beautifully. It is an absolutely fantastic shooting gun. I think part of the problems that I'm having with it is the gun is obviously built to a very, very high tolerance, and I think some of those tolerances just need a little bit of break-in order for you to really get the maximum performance out of them, I guess is the nicest way to put it. So far the magazines are great. They're working. Magazine, I should say, is working great. I've only got the one. I will be getting more as soon as I can. I guess they're about $70 a piece. I heard of a program where when you register your MPX with SIG, when you register it for the warranty, apparently there is a deal where you buy 2 magazines and you get a third one free with a mag pouch. And so I will be taking advantage of that program. However, from what I understand, those are also on back order. So I'll let you know. I'll give you an update on that as soon as I know more. Last but not least, I've had a bunch of people ask me if I am going to SBR this, and I haven't made that decision quite yet. So far, I really like the pistol brace setup on this. It is so nice having a collapsible pistol brace. You can use it when you need it. You don't have to have it when you don't. I don't know if I'm going to SBR this, because I suspect this is going to end up traveling a lot. And it's much easier to travel with a pistol than it is to travel with an SBR. So I haven't quite decided on that yet. I am going to be SBRing my CZ Scorpion. This one I might leave just the way it is. With that being said, I'm also going to be doing some comparison videos here in the not too distant future. I'm going to do, I know everybody, there's a huge CZ Scorpion, SIG MPX sort of comparison video need out there, so I'll be doing one of those, and I will tell you, they're both absolutely beautiful guns, but in different ways. And it's going to be interesting to see where the SIG MPX ends up as far as its usage in military and law enforcement usage, and kind of where it goes from there. So far, I will tell you, it's very impressive. It's also not cheap for a 9mm pistol, or even once you do the paperwork on it, a 9mm SBR. It's a lot of you've got a pretty heavy investment in this thing. Magazines aren't cheap. These are about $70 a piece at SIG prices. So there are some long-term concerns that I have, which I'll fill you guys in as it goes along, that I don't have with my CZ Scorpion. The CZ Scorpion has so far been one of the biggest advantages to it has been very cost effective, and it's a hoot to shoot. So, but we'll do some more comparison stuff as we go along. But so far, so good. My next update, I'm going to do something with this trigger, and I'm going to get the round count up there and really get the gun heated up. And I'm also going to play with it suppressed to see how that works. And so once I've got all that done, I'll make up another video and tell you where we're at. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please don't feel free to just drop it in the comments section. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to share and subscribe. Sure do appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you on the next one.